Welcome to the November of 2018 edition of Stupid News. It's been a while since I did one of these, but trust me, that does not mean that people stopped being stupid for a while. It just means that, I kind of lost interest in doing these videos and I didn't really feel like doing any of these, but now I feel like doing one of these, so anyways, without further ado, let's begin. British school bans pricey Canada Goose coats to prevent poverty shaming. With the coldest months of winter fast approaching, a school in the UK has banned luxury coats in order to help poverty-proof its educational environment. The head teacher at Woodchurch High School in rural England moved to ban coats made by expensive brands after consulting with both parents and pupils. Students will no longer be allowed to sport jackets from Canada Goose, Moncler, and Pyrenex in order to reduce the stress on low-income families to spend beyond their means in order to keep up with higher earners. We are very concerned about the fact that our children put a lot of pressure on parents to buy them expensive coats, head teacher Rebecca Phillips told the Independent newspaper. In a letter, the school informed parents that Canada Goose, Montclair, and Pyrenex coats were going to be banned after Christmas break, according to the Independent. The designer coats can cost hundreds of dollars. The concept of poverty shaming in the UK was pioneered by Children Northeast, a children's charity, nearly 7.5 years ago. It is the process of auditing a school to take action against practices and policies that might stigmatize the poorest pupils. Luke Bramhall, school research and delivery lead at Children Northeast, told ABC News. These measures can include training school staff on poverty and its impact on education. What's that? Students like to wear expensive-ass clothes to school? Oh noes! Call the fucking police! Holy shit! So, your solution is to punish those who wear these expensive coats to school because, oh no, there are some poor kids who go to our school, and if you wear these coats, you're shaming those poor kids because you are wearing your expensive clothes in front of them. So again, your solution is to shelter these poor kids from these expensive-ass coats because maybe, just maybe, it hurts their little feelings because they're not as rich as some of the other kids that go to their school. Well, here's the unfortunate reality. Many people are richer than other people in this world, and that's just how the world works. Some people are just more fortunate than others, and you cannot shelter poor people from that unfortunate reality because these kids who are being sheltered now, who are not being exposed to expensive coats now, are going to go out in the real world someday, and we'll probably see a lot of these people wearing these luxury coats, and then what are they going to do? Have a fucking mental breakdown when they see them because they were sheltered in their high school years? Because, oh no, we don't want them seeing luxury coats because that might hurt their feelings. I just really wish this "let's shelter these people from reality" mentality just fucking dies already, because it's not going to work, because later in life, these people you are trying to shelter are going to eventually be exposed to those very things you tried to shelter them from, and they're not going to know how to fucking handle it because you sheltered them during their adolescent years, and they don't know how to fucking cope with it. They don't know how to fucking cope with whatever it was you were trying to shelter them from because you sheltered them from it for a very, very long time. And that is why it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And plus, how the fuck is just simply wearing coats to school poverty shaming? Like, unless some kids were like actively going out and trying to piss and bullying whoever it was that had less money than them, I don't see a fucking problem in just simply wearing coats, luxury coats to school, because it does not shame them in the slightest. Again, unless they were bullying the poor kids or whatever, but I didn't read any of that here, so I just assume these kids who are wearing luxury coats just decided to just wear their luxury coats to school and just mind their own business. Like, it's not their problem if some poor kid looked at these luxury coats and started weeping. And if it does hurt these kids' feelings by simply seeing some other kids walk around with luxury coats on at their school, then tough shit. Because when they're out, how the fuck are they going to handle the real world if they can't handle seeing luxury coats in their school? Oh no, I see some rich kids wearing rich kids' clothes in my school. I can't fucking handle that. How are you gonna fucking handle the real world then? Because no one is gonna shelter you then. You're just gonna have to fucking accept it and deal with it. Get ready for a really fucking difficult future. Fortnite addiction is forcing kids into video game rehab. Debbie Vitney is losing a battle against Fortnite. Her 17-year-old son, Carson, has been logging 12 hours a day on the video game, searching for weapons and resources in a post-apocalyptic world where the goal is being the last person standing. Teachers complain he falls asleep in class and his grades have plummeted. We'd made some progress in getting him to cut down his Fortnite hours and get better sleep, but he slipped back into his old habits, Vitney, who lives near Saginaw, Michigan, said in an interview. I've never seen a game that has such control over kids' minds. Well, you definitely don't know that many games, do you? Vitney's anguish is echoed by an army of other parents, teachers, and bosses around the world grappling with a game that sucks up hours of a player's time, sometimes to the detriment of other activities. More than 200 million people have registered to play Fortnite, which has become a billion-dollar business for its creator, Epic Games. Some desperate parents have sent their kids to rehab. Alright, here's what I genuinely want to know. What the fuck is so addicting about Fortnite? All of my friends play it extensively. I know I've seen some people online who play it extensively for like a ridiculous amount of time. What is so addicting about the game? Like back when Reggie announced the game was coming to the Switch this past E3, and so many people were so happy that it was finally going to be on the Switch, I was like, alright, I'll give the game a shot since it's so hyped up, since so many people are playing it. Yeah, obviously, it must be a very fun game if so many people fucking love it so much, and I tried it out and I got bored with it in less than an hour, and I haven't touched the game in months now because it just doesn't interest me. I don't care about Fortnite at all. I didn't care about it when I played it. I didn't even have that much fun when I played it. Alright, it was a little fun for a little while, and then after like 20 minutes or so I started to get bored of the fucking game, and I either just shut off the console or switch to another game. You know, I just don't get the appeal of Fortnite. It's not even that fun. I don't think it's that fun. I didn't have that much fun while playing it. I don't get why so many people love it so much and why so many people find it so addicting. But here's another thing I want to know. How can these parents let their kids play Fortnite for such an extensive amount of time? Like one of these parents said their 17-year-old son played it for 12 hours straight. Like she didn't try to do anything. She didn't try to get him the fuck off whatever he was playing it on, console, PC. Fortnite is on like every platform now. Like she didn't try to get his kid, her kid, off of whatever he was playing it on. Like, you would think that the parent would try to take away whatever it was the kid was playing Fortnite on to make them stop playing the game altogether and, try to stop their addiction. Okay, yeah, sure, send them to rehab, alright, whatever, but I just find it strange that these parents didn't mention, like, trying to get their kids off of the game, like, trying to take away their consoles or whatever, trying to get I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Something just doesn't add up to me, but whatever. If you feel like sending your kid to rehab is the solution, then have at it. Whatever. I can't tell you how to fucking parent because I'm not a parent myself, and I don't plan on being a parent. Like, I know it mentions that one of the parents made a little bit of progress in getting their kid to stop playing Fortnite as much, but here's my solution. Take the fucking console away, take the computer away, take the phone away, whatever they're playing Fortnite on, and if they start pissing and moaning about that, if they start throwing fucking temper tantrums over that, so fucking be it. Because, like, who the fuck cares at that point? They're playing a game so fucking extensively to the point where it's just well beyond unhealthy. It's just not healthy at all to play a game for that fucking long. Don't try to cut down their play time because that's not going to work at all, because even if they play a little bit of the game, they're going to relapse and start playing the game extensively all over again. It's like giving a guy trying to kick heroin a little bit of heroin. They're like, here, take a little bit of heroin and this is going to help because, you're trying to kick heroin, but you're not taking as much as you were before, and that's going to send them straight back into heroin because it's going to kick off their addiction all over again, and they're going to relapse and use heroin as extensively as they were before. Like, cutting down their Fortnite playtime hours is not going to work at all, and that's a stupid fucking solution. So yeah, again, if rehab works, whatever. I guess some parents are finally making some progress doing that. I don't know. Kim Kardashian superfan nearly died getting a butt lift. Having a butt the size of Kim Kardashian could kill you. Jordan Park from Dudley, England, nearly died after getting a botched Brazilian butt lift in Turkey, and then he went back for a second surgery. My aim is to one day have a bum that Kim K is jealous of, the 27-year-old plastic surgery addict said. Alright. Obviously, this guy is mentally ill. It says he's a plastic surgery addict, and he wants an ass that even Kim Kardashian is fucking jealous of. Jesus fucking Christ. But all that aside, can I just say this? This is why I added the story. I fucking hate fake boobs and fake asses so much. I don't get why people like them. I just don't. They're fucking plastic. They're fucking fake. And it's so obviously fake too for a lot of these women who decide to get boob jobs and ass jobs. Like the boobs and ass just look so fucking unnaturally big to the point where it's just unattractive. It looks ugly. Again, it looks fake, and it just looks so fucking unnatural, and it's so weird to look at. And don't get me wrong, I love me a big pair of tits. That shit is hot. And I also love a big ass. That shit is also hot. But what is not hot is if they are fake and big to the point where they just look unnatural. Look, I like natural big tits and I like a natural big ass. I don't want fake plastic tits. I don't want a fake plastic ass. And that is exactly what Kim Kardashian has. Plastic. She has a fucking plastic ass. She probably does have plastic tits. I don't know if she got a boob job. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. And she's just all fake and shit. I definitely know she got a facelift because all these fucking famous women get facelifts, especially when they reach a certain age. And Kim Kardashian, what is she, in her mid-30s now? She's getting there. She's getting to that point where she's not going to look as hot anymore, and she's getting older. So she's fucking panicking, and she's probably gotten a lot of plastic surgery done on her to still look hot. And I never even found Kim Kardashian to be all that hot anyway. Again, she's fake as fuck. She's all plastic, basically. And I don't get why anyone likes her. I don't get why anyone thinks she's hot. I don't get why all the girls would love to look like her, because, again, she's fake as fuck. She's all plastic. She is not natural at all. And okay, maybe she didn't get a facelift, but still, she makes her face look all nice and pretty, because that's 50,000 pounds of makeup you're looking at right now. She probably spends her entire morning putting on a shit ton of makeup, because she does not look good without makeup. Don't believe me? Look at this. Yeah, no. Mother dresses 6-year-old son as a girl, threatens dad with losing his son for disagreeing. 6-year-old James is caught in a gender identity nightmare. Under his mom's care in Dallas, Texas, James obediently lives as a trans girl named Luna. But given the choice when he's with his dad, he's all boy, his sex at birth. In their divorce proceedings, the mother has charged the father with child abuse for not affirming James as transgender, has sought restraining orders against him, and is seeking to terminate his parental rights. She is also seeking to require him to pay for the child's visits to a transgender affirming therapist and transgender medical alterations, which may include hormonal sterilization starting at age 8. When his mother, a pediatrician, took James for counseling, she chose a gender transition therapist who diagnosed him with gender dysphoria, a mental conflict between physical sex and perceived gender. James's precious young life hinges purely on the diagnosis of gender dysphoria by a therapist who wraps herself in rainbow colors, affirms the diagnosis of gender dysphoria, and dismisses evidence to the contrary. Remove the rainbow from James's diagnosis, and it crumbles under the weight of the criteria for the diagnosis of gender dysphoria. James does not fit the gender dysphoria criteria. The criteria for a diagnosis of childhood gender dysphoria are that a child be persistent, consistent, and insistent about being the opposite sex. James's mom is all in on the diagnosis of gender dysphoria and asserting with social transition. She has used the name Luna to enroll him as a girl in the 1st grade and provides only female clothes. Meanwhile, Dad isn't seeing signs of gender dysphoria. In the father's home, James appears to be a normal boy and doesn't identify as a girl. He has a choice of boys' or girls' clothes there, and he chooses to dress as a boy. The fact that James changes gender identity depending on which parent is present makes the diagnosis of gender dysphoria both dubious and harmful. The glaring disparity between a child's preferred identity when in the presence of one parent versus the other should cause a therapist to reassess, perhaps nullify the diagnosis of gender dysphoria, and terminate any steps toward a transition, but in the case of James, this hasn't happened. Get this kid away from his fucking mother, because what she is doing should constitute as abuse. Not what the father is doing, because the father is actually doing the right thing, trying to get him away from this crazy bitch, because this fucking mother is trying to force this poor kid who doesn't even suffer gender dysphoria, trying to force this kid into being the opposite sex, and she's actually trying to get him to transition to a different sex, because for whatever fucking reason she wants him to be a different sex. Fuck this bitch, and I really fucking hope that the father gets the custody of this kid, because this kid is in a very, very harmful environment. Imagine all the damage this is causing this kid too. You know, constantly switching between a girl and a boy, constantly whenever he's with a different parent. When he's with his father, he gets to be whatever he wants. He could be a boy, and he gets to be himself. But when he's with his mother, he's forced to wear girl clothes. He's forced to respond to the name Luna. Shit like this could really fuck the kid up, because he's probably going to grow up really confused, because he spent a lot of his childhood years with two parents, where one parent he could be a boy, and the other parent he's forced to be a fucking girl. Imagine all the fucking psychological damage this is going to fucking cause him in the future. And this stupid bitch, for whatever reason, really wants him to be a girl. Again, I don't know why. She just really wants him to be a fucking girl. And again, I really just hope that the kid is just taken away from her and is and the dad is given custody, because obviously this bitch is fucking unstable. She should not raise this kid, because she's forcing him to be something that he doesn't even want to be. The kid doesn't actually suffer gender dysphoria, and yet she's trying to force the kid to be a girl. Again, she's also trying to get the kid to transition to a girl. Like, imagine that. Imagine if that actually does go through. Like, when he's 8, he could actually go through the transition. Like, imagine fucking living, being forced to transition to a girl, and you didn't even want to fucking transition to a girl, and you have to fucking live life like that. Like, fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch. Again, I hope she loses custody, and she should never, ever have another kid, because she is obviously unfit to be a fucking parent if she's gonna do this shit to her fucking child. And what's fucked up is she's probably gonna get the custody. I wouldn't be surprised. She'll probably be like, look at his father. He is a transphobic bigot. He doesn't accept the fact that my son has gender dysphoria and wants to be a girl. Meanwhile, she's actually forcing this on her son, and people don't know, and then she gets custody, and she gets to do whatever the fuck she wants to do with her son, and forces him to transition into a girl. Absolutely fucking disgusting. I hope this bitch fucking rots in hell. Alligator walks into Florida Walmart, cited for trespass. And so an alligator walks into a Walmart in Florida. It's not a stand-up comedy shtick, only another Florida man story with a slice of Animal Planet. Cue the scene at a Walmart in Port St. Lucie, where an officer apprehended a small alligator at a store along US 1 at the late Tuesday night. Credit Michael Connor, who arrived on the scene to escort the unwanted shopper out the door. The gator was captured in good health and relocated to a safer location. He wandered into the employee break area, said Master Sergeant Frank Sabel, a Port St. Lucie spokesman, told TCPalm.com. He scooped him up and escorted him off the property, gave him a trespass warning. Fortunately, the alligator did not resist, or the situation could have escalated into a man versus beast scenario. He complied, didn't resist us much, Sabel said. With our show of force and verbal commands, we were able to take him into custody. Later, Gator. I applaud these Floridian officers. Really amazing work. Just absolute fucking amazing work, Florida cops. You took this alligator out of a Walmart and gave it a trespass warning, and I assume the alligator was like, I'm sorry, officers, I'll never do it again. No, it's a fucking alligator. It's not gonna fucking care if you give it a trespass warning. Like, are people in Florida this fucking stupid? Like, I've always heard the stereotype, people in Florida are so stupid, and it's like a meme on the internet now, all these Florida man stories and all that shit. Like, are people in Florida like this legit dumb, where they fucking give an alligator that went into a Walmart a fucking trespass warning and expect it to never come back? Like, I don't fucking get this at all. So yeah, whoever may be watching this who lives in Florida, I really feel bad for you, because this is your fucking police force at work, giving alligators warnings and thinking that they're not going to come back after issuing a warning to them. Really great police force you have down there. And so that concludes this edition of Stupid News. If you have a stupid news story that you want to share with me, feel free to share it with me on my Discord server. Link to it down below. I have a channel in there completely dedicated to stupid news stories. Or alternatively, you could share a stupid news story with me on Twitter. That's fine as well, but your best bet is Discord because I'm way more active on there, trust me. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this edition of Stupid News, and if you didn't, oh well. Anyway, that's all the stupid news I had to report on. Bye-bye.